Hey guys, my name is Alex and today we are going to be dropping the fuel tank of my V50Z. I'll try to make it sort of a how-to style with step by step, and maybe you'll find it interesting or even useful. So without further ado, let's begin. So basically the very first step in removing the fuel tank from a Z is, well, as you can see, you'll have to drop the entire subframe. Okay, let's dive in and see what are we dealing with. Okay, so I see there are a bunch of lines that go from filling line over here, and this is all crusty. Well, not a surprise, to be honest. Did not expect anything less than that. Thing is all it's really horrible. I'll need to buy a replacement for this one. Actually, I think the tank itself has been held by these two brackets, so it's as simple as to undo. I think this is a 19 mil bolt, and it should come right off. Yeah, this is not very healthy. So soak everything up with copious amount of penetrating fluid. Use the one that you like the most. I unfortunately have only WD left in my arsenal for today, so I'm gonna use this. It's not the best, but it does the job. It takes longer, but it will come right out. And of course we can use some heat on the smaller nuts like these. I don't see anything else from this side. Alright, these two bolts are 18. Let's see if I can break them with one. And no, I can't. They're too tight, which is understandably right. Okay, just loosen it. I don't want the entire tank to drop on me. Okay, this thing just disintegrated in my hands, and there is no other way of removing it, at least for me. It's just beyond crustiness, but this was the only thing that kind of was holding me back, because I still had slim hope of getting it off in one piece, but oh well, now we just need to try and slide this hose off, which been sitting here since the day it came off the factory. As you can see, it is pretty tight. Yeah. Hey, yeah. Perfect. So we can disconnect all the hose lines. So basically, you need to undo this one, the small breather line that goes in the same direction anywhere. Like you can take one of these clips out, and there is a small. The smallest line goes into the charcoal canister. And that's it, I think. The only thing that is left is just to remove the bolts, and I know for a fact that there are gonna be some wires going to the fuel pumps, so that's why I put the jack stands under the tank so it won't drop and I won't break any wires. Well, I hope I won't, but... I mean, a wise way would have been to drain the tank off all the fuel, but yep, that's what I was talking about. I think if it still has so much fuel in it, I might just try to save it. Might as well disconnect this one. I'm still kind of tempted to remove this heat shield, but let's see. Let's go the hard way. Okay, one bolt is out. Huh. It's actually the same bolt as the brace that holds the subframe to the chassis. Much longer though, I think. Ooh. Okay. So how does it work? So basically, when you removed these two, well, from here, these two 18mm bolts, the fuel tank will start dropping down, and if you disconnect all the lines, like there are technically just 3 lines, the big one, the medium one, and the smallest one, and the best, I think, place to disconnect them is around here. This way, again, you'll have more room, and once down, about so, you can see there is one clip over there, one wire there, and there is another one on that side with the line going to the fuel pump, and in order to disconnect it, I need 2 hands, because you need to pinch these 2 ends and then kind of twist and pull it, which is really hard to do with one hand. Yeah. So I got it disconnected, and technically I think nothing's holding the tank anymore, and we can drop it down. No. Flicking out. Okay, it's out. Just to reiterate, these two 18mm bolts hold the brackets that in their turn are holding the fuel tank in place. You need to disconnect 3 pipes, well, hoses that go into the tank. There's a big one, middle one, and there is a tiny one. Then you can drop down the tank a little bit using some kind of support, so not to damage this wiring, even though it's quite long, as you can see. Even if you drop it by this much, you won't tear up the wiring along from here. So there is one connector here, there's another one there, and another hose that you need to disconnect from the fuel pump. You can do it from the top. You just need to remove the plastic trim and get to these tabs, remove them, pop this lid out, and just get to this side from the top. But I decided to go from the bottom. On this side, same story. Pop these out, take the lead, disconnect, and you are good to go. Alright, the final step after you remove the fuel tank is to get the filler neck out, which I didn't know how to do yesterday, so I went on a couple of forums and asked a few people. Basically, the way you do it, after you undone all the brackets from underneath, there are like 1, 2, 3 10mm nuts that hold it in place, and here it's just being held by this grommet. So the way to take it out is just pull it from the inside this way, and it will just pop out quite easily. And this is pretty much it. So technically, after you drop the subframe, the entire procedure of removing the fuel tank is really straightforward, and it shouldn't take more than, I don't know, an hour at best. It's not that big of a job, just not very convenient to work on the car. And I mean, if you have a lift or something, it makes the entire job so much easier. But even if you don't, it's still manageable to do it on axle stands, as I just did. As you can see, I don't have any fancy lifts or anything like that. So yeah, the next step would be to basically take as much rust out as possible, weld all the holes, yeah, keep preparing the car, because there is a long way to go, and hopefully we will be ready by the time we're out of the lockdown and the track days will resume, so we'll be able to take the car out and start practicing, because that's the entire point of this build. Yeah, hope you enjoy that, and see you in the next one.